I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Kontor. Sunyani. Christ.
I read him Ken selection.
Chale me get rapper me feel Sunyani. I rap for God so he the brand me. Me to me book train not in the
All right, lovely people, welcome once again to another lovely day, and it's your boy Kojo on Not Just a Crap podcast. You know what we do right here? We shine light on those who deserve it. And today I have a special guest with me. And trust me, this guy can draw your spirit, he can draw your soul, and draw your intestines. Hey, what's up, my man? Kontor, how are you doing, man?
What's up, Kojo? What's up, Kojo? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah. It's I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. Thank you. And Happy New Year as well. We've not talked the whole year, so Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you. I realize the
Right.
same thing. I've been seeing people like the later part of, let's say, January, and I'm still wishing them Happy New Year because I've not seen them when the year
Oh
started.
yeah. Definitely. Now we want to catch up with you and know what you're about and everything. Basically, I can see you're not in Ghana now, and the dollars are flowing, man.
We thank God.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Anyway, so
It's a blessing.
we just want to know basically what you're into now. I know you do the arts, you do the music as well, but
Yeah.
many people would want to know how it all started for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kojo. I mean, it's a great question and something to definitely think about.
Yeah,
If I really want to talk about this thing, I'm sure I'm going to
you spend
need
the whole
like the whole day just talking about my life. Where I mean, it all started from, but we can always make it short. Like
yes,
I was born in Sunyani. People call it Sun City,
yep,
and I mean, growing up in such an area or neighborhood wasn't so much easy for me because I wasn't born with a silver spoon, as people will call it. I mean,
yeah,
growing up, you will see that your father and your mother, like your parents, your siblings. I mean, you know the situation back at home, and you
definitely.
see yourself as a talented dude. You know who wants to go. I don't want to say like off board, but you want to do something that you
Hmm.
haven't seen any of your family members doing. Because when I was growing up, I realized that the like my creative abilities, like I cannot pinpoint one person in my family, like let's say my brother or my nephew or my cousin. You know what I mean? You know
Yeah,
there are some sort of occupational traits that you can always see. I
yep,
mean, someone around you doing it, but I didn't see that. I didn't see anyone rapping. I didn't see anyone
yeah,
singing. I didn't see anyone drawing. I mean, my uh, when you talk about football, then yes, my father was a footballer. My brothers are footballers.
right,
So it was like there was like a kind of like a misunderstanding from the onset, you know. So
yep,
that even made things extra hard for me because we
yeah.
haven't seen your kind in the family. I mean, we don't see
I
anybody
get
doing this. So
it.
what is assurance?
So what did you really want it to be? Did you think you were going to be an artist, a musician, or because I know definitely your parents wouldn't allow you do that. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean, it was
difficult.
difficult. I remember sometimes, you know, after going to Kindi's studio and coming back, I have to defend myself, you know, talk,
Yeah.
talk plenty
Okay.
about things. You know,
Okay.
all those, oh, you know, all those vibes. But, um, you know, I don't blame my parents. It's just because, you know, there was like my kind, there was no one like that in the family. So, the
Yes.
assurance wasn't there whether or not you were going to make it. You know, you
That's the
draw, you
thing.
sing, rap, you know, those kind of things. So the assurance wasn't there. So it even made things tougher. Your parents
Yeah.
don't have it, and nobody's assured that you're also going to make it with your craft. And they are spending money on you in school. So I mean, what's the point? Just get some government job and do, something like
That's
that.
true. That's true. I understand them perfectly well because it's not like they mean bad for you. They mean good for you, but
Sure.
they want to play it safe just because they are not so sure about the path you're going if it can give you
Yeah.
any livelihood. Like, can music give you any good life? Can drawing give you any good life? So I really
Sure.
understand them. So that's great. So I've always known you for music. I've always known you for rap, all of that. And when I saw you draw, when I saw your first artwork, I was like, really? Is that coming from you? How did you get into the art, like the drawing? We'll get back to the music, but I want to start with the art, the drawing, and everything.
Yeah. There is a saying that I think it is a saying by Picasso that every kid is an artist, but when we grow up, then everybody tries to do, you know, something else. So for art, I had always loved it from infancy. I remember sometimes I have to go to the bookstore, like library, and then,
Yep.
you know, take some book, look at some of the illustrations in the book, and kind of like draw it in my pad or my sketchbook or something like that. I mean, it wasn't permitted. When you go into the bookstore, you are going to buy something, but I'll sneak in there, take some books, open
Yep.
it. I just wanted to see illustrations and quickly,
Yep.
draw them and go home and, take my time to draw because my parents don't have the money to buy the book in itself for me.
Right.
Sometimes, you'll be doing all sort of things just to make sure that you stumble upon a very good illustration to draw. So it has
Right.
always been my passion. Um, right from primary school, I mean, all my friends, my peers, my
Mm-hmm.
colleagues, they all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Um,
Right.
they knew that when it comes to drawing, I mean, this is the guy. This is the guy. So I would
Yeah.
say it started from infancy. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But you decided to take it professionally as well.
Yeah.
By going to do the official learning for how to do all that stuff. I remember I saw you way back in Winnipeg, and
Sure.
is that the course you did in school?
Yeah, it is a course that I did. I remember when I was about to complete junior high school. The educational setup in Ghana when you are in junior high school, you are not measuring anything. I mean, you are just
No.
studying. You are just studying to go and write your basic education
BC, yeah.
certificate examination. So when you are done with that, then going when you're about to go to high school, then you have something to go and study. Now you want to
Mhm.
select a major and
Yep.
pursue that path. So
General arts
um,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I knew I wanted to do art. So when I was in JSS 3, I remember I started asking people that if you draw and you want to go and study that in high school or
Mm-hmm.
senior high school, what is the course for you? And I mean, people told me visual art, and it stuck here. And I was like, okay, I'm going to study visual art. So I remember
Yep.
when um, I was enrolling in high school, the school's administrator looked at my grades and said, come on, why are you going to do art? I mean, nobody comes here with this grade
Yeah.
and do art.
It
So in
wasn't
quotes,
like you were that bad. You know the
no,
mentality of
like,
mostly when you go to secondary schools, it's the bad boys and those who didn't do well, those
yeah,
that go into the arts,
yeah,
visual arts.
you know,
So there's this notion about visual art students,
it's like a stereotyping tag or something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, he told me, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing visual art. He was like, go and do science. And I was like, no, yes, I have these beautiful grades, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for science. I mean, I'm going to do art. So I was very certain about it because I was right from junior high school. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that this is what I wanted to pursue. So I studied visual art, and by God's grace, I had very good grades. I mean, I remember our batch that like that I completed in like 2012,
2012,
Like
yes.
my what? Yeah, and I remember my batch. It was a 4-year program. During our time, we were
Yeah,
doing it like
2012,
4
yeah,
years.
4 years.
Yeah, we were doing it like 4 years. So I remember about just 3 or 4 of us passed mathematics because I mean, this notion, art is for dumb people. So then again, I would say like maybe they were pushing, they're not so good students in. But when you get in, you realize that you have to pass all your core subjects. You have to pass English,
Yeah, if you
math,
want to
science.
further.
Yeah, if you want to further your education. So I remember even one of the guys who was able to pass mathematics during the WASI, he had to come and take my paper for me.
And he
He was
wasn't
like, no, bro.
an art student.
Like he was an art student and he knew
Okay.
that I am brilliant in mathematics. So I mean,
Yeah.
he made it a point that, hey, bro, today I'm going to take your people from you and write what you else I'm failing this course and I'm
Yeah.
not ready to fail it.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I mean, he took my paper. Yeah, and I mean, he was very bold about it. I mean, I was panicking. This is what he's saying. I was panicking. Like, hey, bro, it's like
That was his life,
math. It was his life. Math. You have to pass the first like there is compulsory set of questions like the first 5, and then you select optional 5. So for section B, I still remember you have to answer 10 questions, 5 compulsory, then 5 optional. So what he did was, bro, for the optional, I can do something. One thing about mathematics too is you don't always have to get the correct answer to get some kind of mark or grade.
Yeah,
They start marking from the
steps. Yeah, man.
So for the compulsory questions, he had it conked because that is the paper he took from me. And he was like, no, bro, I'm not failing this. And at the end of the day, he passed, I passed, and I think one other colleague and none of my mates were able to get.
So let's say you're sharp.
Difficult.
You didn't go to do visual arts because you are not sharp, but you went to do it because
No.
you had love for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you school in Sunyani as well?
Yes, I went to Chinamanfo Senior High School. Technical School.
Shout outs to everyone from Chinamanfo. Yeah. So let's get to where you took it really serious and commercial, because I think the first time I saw your art was I think you posted on Facebook. And I was like, yo, are you the one that drew it? So was it at the tertiary level that you went commercial, like trying to do publish real great stuff?
Yeah, you are right. Commercialization came into my mind when I went to the university. I realized that, if I am pursuing a degree in the art, then I have to take it really, really serious. And, Chinamanpu was a good school. It did help, but, I wasn't exposed to certain things. Winneba opened my perspective. The university broadened my horizon on so many things. Like starting from media or mediums that we use to create art, like pastels. I remember the first time I went to an exhibition by the Department of Art Education. I realized some artists in pastels, and I didn't know what those things even were. I asked a colleague, what tool or what material is that dude over there using to create that art? And he told me it's pastel. I realized that I'm behind on so many things because of
where I'm needed the exposure to get to know more trending stuff.
Yeah. So from that exhibition, I realized that no, bro, you want to do this, but you were not exposed to some of these things because of the school that you're coming in from. So I was like, no, bro, you're good, but you're lacking behind. So you have to catch up. If you really want to mingle with these people, if you really want to dine with these people, you have to be very sharp. So I told myself, and when I was going to the university, I had a good advice from my father, not my actual father, but a brother to my father. He advised me that, no, bro, there is something called GPA. So take your first year very serious, because if you mess up your GPA from the first year, no matter how how hard you try to build it
Yep.
up in your subsequent years, it'll be very difficult for you.
That's
So
true.
I had that advice, and I was like, okay, let's go for it. So I was very serious. I mean, right from the onset, and also knowing that I'm a little bit behind in terms of some of these stuff like the materials, pastels, charcoal, and
Yeah.
all those materials that we use in creating art. I was like, I have to buckle up. So I mean, it was I mean, fifth gear or whatever you call it, but it was
Yep.
that top speed from
Yeah.
the onset
I
for
mean, you
me.
went with focus, and you knew what you were going in for. So
Yeah,
perfect,
yeah.
perfect,
So
perfect.
yeah, that is where commercialization started for me.
That's great. So we're gonna have a look at some of your artworks and all that.
Ordained. Made them want my junk corners, I made them rap skills. I go use some to the proclaim his goodness. In I be my business. Damn yes, I'm never fix so it's a protein. Over here, can say my nobody feel contain. Hey, tell them my transformation from the world to Christ is fascinating. Righteous living with the
Do you remember the first artwork you probably did and sold out? And how much was
Yeah,
that? I know probably
you
you
know.
were doing it for free, and at a point in time you had to
Oh
start
yeah. Yes,
charging people.
you have to start charging people because you realize you wanted to do it well,
Yeah,
and then
you're putting in your time, your energy, and so
yeah,
on.
good. Yeah, I think the first work that I did, it was a commission work. In Ghana, like especially from Sunyani, I mean, most people wouldn't like buy stuff from you, like what you have created. And during those days, because of school, I had no collection or like no body of work, or let me
Okay.
say no scholarly practice. So it
Yep.
was like, okay, I have the skill, I draw. So if you want me to draw somebody for you,
Then you
I'll
do
draw
that.
for you, and then you pay for it depending on the size that you want. So that
Yeah.
is what I was doing. I mean, we call it commission. So I was basically doing commission work for people. The first work that I created was commissioned by someone in Sunyani. I mean, he owned like a driving school by then. I don't want to mention his name because
Right.
he gave me a very bad experience from right from the onset. I mean, the first work that I did, I remember. I mean, that time I had no idea about business. I mean, it was just starting off for me. So I was like, okay, let me do it for you. After the work is made, you pay for it. But I mean, we agreed on the price initially. So I was expecting, that fee at the end of the work. I did it, and I mean, this man or this guy was like, go and come. I'll go to his office. And I was like, I mean, I'm coming for my payment.
Some
I've
small
taken my
money he
time.
go give you to.
Some small money. Oh, so I was serious. I mean, it was hard. So eventually, I mean, he did pay me, and I mean, it was either 150 cedis or 200 cedis
Yeah.
between those two.
He
Either
kept
150
tossing
cedis
you
or
up
200.
and down.
Then I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't learn anything from it. He came back again. I think
He did another one.
he was, yeah, he did another one. So he commissioned like me for the first 2 weeks that I actually charged someone for it, or like someone actually paid for it.
Yep.
So I charged him, and he was like, okay. It means he loved the first one. So he came back again. And then I was like, the same thing. So it was like, okay, do it. After you are done, I'm going to pay you.
Right.
That was worst experience. I mean, this guy, up to date, I still have that work. He never paid for it. At some point, I mean, it was a lady. I drew a lady for him. At some point, the lady saw that I posted the work, and the lady even wanted to pay me up and then take the work because it was nice. And the
Also,
lady
they didn't
saw
even
it. I
come to
mean,
take the work.
no, the guy didn't pay. Some of the problem later in my career, I realized that someone can commission you for a work like draw this girl for me. And
Mm-hmm.
at some point, maybe they will have misunderstanding with the person, and
Oh.
now they don't want to take the work again. So I realized that was the point. But it took me
Yeah.
some time. It took me some years in the work to realize that this is why some of these people sometimes sometimes
Yeah.
people will make half payment and then they don't make the extra payment for the work, and you squander the money. So that is when I started realizing that why has this person giving me like half payment, and
Mm-hmm.
and,
He's
and the
not
work too
minding
is
you
nice.
again.
Yes, because
I get
they
it.
have problems with the people that they wanted to give the work to. I mean, so these were some of the challenges. Right after the first two experiences, Blaze saw my work. That that work that I did for the guy who was tossing me up and down, and he was like, "No,
Yep.
bro, you are good. I want to commission you to do two works for me, like make my own portrait and
Right.
then make the portrait of my boss." At that time, I was like, "No, now if anybody commissions me, I'm going to ask for half payment."
Yeah.
When I get that half payment, I do the work. If they don't come back for it again, I don't lose anything because at least I've taken some money from you. And he was like, "Come on, I'll pay you." So he invited me. He was working as a like national service secretariat. So he invited me over. That was the first time that I saw money, like someone counting money into my hands,
Money.
like taking. I mean, it was a good experience. I think
Yeah.
I charged him 250 cedis for each of the works. So
Right.
both works like amounted to 500 cedis. So when I got there, I was like, "Blade, if you don't give me half payment, I'm not doing this work because of my past experience." Then he was like, "Don't worry." He gave me 5 CD notes, like 250 CDs, and it was like a bundle. And
Wow.
I mean, he counted the money into my hands, and I was like, "Damn, I haven't put pencil on paper, and I have this money on me." I
Yeah.
chilled that day because, and that day I didn't sleep. I went to Sunyani Polytechnic. I mean, there was a Polytechnic then. I
Yep.
sat there. I mean, I didn't sleep. I was drawing because I've seen money. I was like, "No, I'm starting your work
That
right
was a
away."
good
I
feeling,
mean, it
yeah?
was good. It was good. I was like, "Yeah, this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
this is good." I mean, yeah.
It can
So
bring in some money, yeah?
yeah. So after those two experiences, like the good and then the bad, I was
Yep.
like, "Okay, now this is it. I take half payment before my work, and I cannot talk about all the experiences that I've had so far. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
there's
it's
been
it's
ups
going to
and
be
downs,
ups
but
and
I
downs.
mean,
That's
yeah, but
awesome.
it was good. It was good
Yeah.
experience working for people. Yeah.
Which of your artworks took so much time, like the longest time for you to finish?
Um.
Or it depends in a way.
Yeah, it depends, but at some point, growth will eventually set in. So at some point, you realize that if at first, let's say if I spend like let's say 3 days on a 16 by 20 inches pencil drawing, I mean, it got to a point where I could do that within a day. Like it's not
Okay.
like the whole 24 hours, but like one sitting. Like I can
Yep.
spend maybe like say 7 or
It
eight
comes
hours.
with
Like
experience.
yes, it comes with experience. So when I started, it took like it would take me like let's say a week to complete 16 by 20 inches portrait. But gradually it got to some point where I could use 3 days because now I know a lot of techniques,
Yeah, man.
I've matured and now I can, do it a little bit faster. And
Right.
now as I'm sitting here, I can do that within some few hours.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I
Yeah.
mean, it comes with experience. The more you do, the more
Yeah.
you become good at it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I don't know if you have any favorites from all your artworks you've done so far at this point. Do you have any favorites out of all that you've done?
Um, every new piece is the new favorite. Like they are like my baby. You know,
Right.
um, every artwork is a baby, and every new work I make becomes the new favorite. So it is very difficult for me to pinpoint one artwork and say that this is my favorite work of all. But regardless, I still have some experiences with certain works that makes me feel attached, like more attached to those works. Especially some of the works that gave me, some of my first milestones. Like started putting me out there. Um,
Yep.
I remember the Judging Club artwork that I created in 2016. I was in Accra then. I was staying with Bobby Manfred. I mean, you know him. I mean,
Yeah,
MC
man. Yeah,
Bobby.
man.
Yeah,
Unfair.
yeah. So, yeah. I mean, may God bless him. I mean, he's been a revelation to my life. I mean, I was staying with Bobby
MC
Manfred
Bobby.
at that time. Yeah, North Kanishi.
Right.
And I was creating works by the time. and I saw an Instagram post um, by Liverpool, official Liverpool Instagram account. You know, I'm
Yep.
a Liverpool fan, so
Okay.
they went like, how can you, if you say that you love this football club, show us how you love this football club. I mean, it's like it was a post that they created, so
Okay.
they were looking for creative to do something and then show
Something.
them like what can you do for the club. And I was like, well, okay, let me draw the football manager, Jurgen Klopp. I mean, it was 1 year into, I think, his service. He came in 2015, thereabout. So
Right.
2016, I mean, it was just 1 year. I mean, for him, for the football manager. And I was like, well, let me draw Jurgen Klopp
Mm-hmm.
and tag them, and then let's see what happens. I mean, I took my chance. It was like, okay, I drew Jurgen Klopp. I posted it on Instagram. I tagged Liverpool FC, and then um sorry, like I tagged Liverpool FC, and then they retweeted the work on
Oh
the
wow.
official Instagram. I mean, you
Wow.
are in UK. You know when
That was
currently
huge.
Liverpool. I mean, it was. I mean, Liverpool is the most successful English club now. I mean, no matter what happens, even though this semester things are not this
Somebody will not agree
season.
with you though.
Yeah, I know, but I cannot hide it because they've done a lot for me as a person. Like
Yeah, I
because
mean that's
that's what
huge.
I'm talking about.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
I mean, Liverpool FC retweeted my pencil drawing of Jurgen Klopp, and
Wow.
my phone was buzzing. I wasn't using a good phone then. I mean, just
Yeah.
some small phone where I posted like a big account like that has retweeted my work. My phone freezed for like 2 to 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, it grew my Instagram account. There is power in the big account when they retweet your work. I
Yeah.
mean, my my phone was. I mean,
And they
and
acknowledge
honestly,
you because of the good work you did. Like this is
I
pure
mean,
raw talent. Yeah.
I still have those screenshots. I
Yeah,
So
man.
sometimes I go to their Instagram account and then I see my work next to maybe like legends, like some of the Champions League they've won. Like so, right after Liverpool Champions League trophy that the official account has posted, the next is my drawing. I mean, it
Whoa.
was huge. I mean,
That's really a big height for you, man.
yeah, I mean, my drawing next to Champions League trophy. I was like,
Whoa.
oh, this is huge. I still have the screenshots in 2016. I mean,
Whoa. That's
it was
that's
awesome.
great. That's
Yeah.
great. So did it bring any kind of mileage for you? Any links for you, like asking you they need drawings and all that?
Yeah, it did. It did because I remember that opened the door for my first international commission work.
Oh,
A guy from Australia contacted me that he has seen my work of Jurgen Klopp that the club posted. So he wants to
wow.
commission me to draw Steven Gerrard for him. He
Oh,
was also a Liverpool fan. So yeah. So it also gave me the platform to draw Steven Gerrard. I mean, this thing that I'm talking
whoa.
about, I mean, up to now, it's still huge when I remember those. This is
It's
huge.
huge. So that's why I keep saying, there are so many people who draw, there are so many people who do the artwork, but people are waiting for people to hold their hands, give them financial support before they go out there. What do you
Yeah.
think the power of the internet can do for people with creative talents like you? Whether music, art,
Yeah.
anything.
Now the internet is the most powerful tool. There is the good and bad side, but if you want it to be good for you, it will be good for you. If you want it to be bad for you, it will be.
Yep.
So the internet has both sides to it, the good and the bad. So what do you want to use the internet to do today? If it is about promoting your business, if it is about promoting your staff, your talent. But
So
I was in Sunyani number 2, and I mean, I was getting recognition from England. I mean, it's
that's
huge.
huge. That's big, man.
Yeah,
We're proud of you, man. It's crazy, but I keep saying we need to push. And imagine you didn't do that drawing, probably you wouldn't have gotten that recognition. So you don't always
yeah.
have
I
to
mean,
sit waiting for people to come at you. Just take your chance.
no, yeah.
That's
If
I
you
believe
believe in
that's
yourself,
what's keeping
put
us
it out
going.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. We're really proud of you. Right now,
Yeah.
you're in the United States. Is it art related? Is it? You know what I mean? See the
Yeah, I mean,
adolescents come.
there was a school opportunity for me to come here and do my master's. So I've studied art right from senior high school, undergraduate, and now I'm doing master's. So
Amazing.
I knew what I
Amazing.
wanted to do all this while, and I'm
That's
doing it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do people still commission you to do works for them?
Yeah, you can, but you know what I mean. Things have.
Yeah. The price has increased.
It is investment. Investment
Yeah,
comes
it
with
is.
reward because I've invested in what I'm doing. I'm paying over hundreds of millions, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean I can take 2 million, 3 million for work
No,
again.
I mean,
I mean,
the price has
it
even
can happen.
changed from the experience and everything, the growth, everything. The price has changed. From the first day you told me you draw with charcoal, I thought it
You thought
was
it was the taco that we used to.
every day we used to cook. So,
Yes, it is. It can do the same thing.
is it a different kind of drawing? Because so currently, which one do? You do charcoal? You do any other ones?
Yeah, I do. Right now, I'm doing mixed media because when you realize that you are growing in terms of ideas, in terms of practice, and in terms of what you want to do, your materials also change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things you bring on board and the stories that you're trying to tell. So right now,
Right.
I paint, I draw, I still draw with charcoal. I use gold leaf, um, and
Okay.
then I use Ankara fabric. Now I'm
Oh,
using fabrics and stuff like that. So
oh,
they are
that's
all to help.
amazing.
All these materials. Yeah, all these materials help me to tell my story like the way that I want to tell
So
it
is
now.
it like
Because now,
now you tell stories with your art? Because I see now you've been
yeah,
doing more streetism, more street kayayo, truck pushers, and the hustle that goes on the streets. Is it like you're using
yeah,
the art to tell stories?
yes. I mean, I'm a contemporary artist now. I have grown from the time that I started in Ghana, Sunyani. At that time, I wasn't a contemporary artist. I mean, I was just um, I would say a hobby because I was just drawing for people for money and all that. But the, I'm in a Master of Fine Arts program, and I'm a
Amazing.
Master of Fine Arts now. I'm a contemporary artist. People can write articles and stuff like essays on my work. So
Oh,
the program demands that you have a practice. I mean, you have something that you are working towards. So right now, I'm in a position where we are talking about gallery exhibitions, we are talking about museum shows,
exactly.
art fairs. I'm in the art world proper now, and I
Yeah.
need to tell, stories with my artwork. I can't just do random stuff. So right now, I'm working on a collection, and for the work that I'm posting now, I've even moved beyond that. That is where it started from. But
Mm-hmm.
you'll be having critique. The
Yeah.
program is set up in a way that you'll be having multiple critiques. People will be looking at your work. People will be listening to you talking
Yep.
about your work. People will be giving you feedback, and you'll be reflecting and changing some of the stuff that you're doing. So I've even developed and moved, past that stage. But
That's
I'm
great.
kind of I've just started posting my work since I came here. So you start seeing different things, I hope like you
Awesome.
can see my background. I mean,
Yeah, man, I can see you've done stuff behind you. That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
So
So a lot of things are involved.
yep. That's amazing. So can you tell us about the prospects in the arts worldwide? People don't really pay much attention to it, but art is an area where you can be a millionaire in that side as well. Can you give us anything about that?
Yeah, art is business now. Right now as I'm sitting here, now the business side is like 90%.
That's it.
When you are able to do it at the very highest point. The stage where I am now is the highest point, or is this is the farthest any artist could go, is
Artists.
to get your MFA, is to get your Master of Fine Art degree. It is our PhD,
Mm-hmm.
literally. It is our PhD. So I'm doing PhD in visual art now.
Oh,
So at this stage, things don't come cheap. The business side is there. I mean, I'm a full-time professional now because now you're speaking to people who own galleries. Now you're speaking to
Yeah. And
museum
these
directors.
guys are all millionaires.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, it's the whole thing. I mean, the way you conduct yourself, there is the language to it, the way that you speak to these people, the way that you post your artwork, the way that your algorithm, even your Instagram account looks. So I've taken a lot of stuff from my Instagram page. When you get to this level, big money is involved. When you make it, big money is involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you want to make sure that you play according to the rules. You
All
fit
right.
in terms of professionalism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But big money is involved. Yeah, big money is involved.
Definitely. So, I mean, what advice are you going to give to any young artist back home who's trying to make it in the world of art?
At this point in my career, I've realized you cannot make it to this point without studying. In as much as I am a Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ, you cannot also be empty-headed. You have to have knowledge about this. Honestly, you have to learn. You have to learn about the history of art because when I stand right now to talk about my work, I'll be connecting history. I mean, you have to connect the dots from history to the contemporary. And you cannot speak this language if you haven't studied. And you know what? This is the language that gallery directors and museum directors are looking for. They want to know that you've studied, invested in your craft. Even if you are not able to study to the master of fine art level, like where I am right now, I have still seen artists who have not reached this level in terms of academia, but their works are out there. You can study on your own. Speak the language. There is a language to this. It's like, I mean, you've gone to a music studio and an engineer is talking. I mean, if you don't speak the language, I mean, they'll be talking about things like, I mean, you might not understand. I mean, pitch, do this, fix that,
key, I mean, and all that,
and all those things. It's like
that's true. I mean, if you want to be a musician, there's a language to it.
You have to learn about it. So at some point, yeah, art has a language to it. You have to learn it. If you don't learn it, forget about being professional. Forget about it.
That's a good one. So there's no shortcut.
Yeah. No, you have to learn.
So the fact that you have the talent alone doesn't make you a pro.
No. No. Pros knows the language. If you are a pro, you know the language.
You need to
know how to connect the dots. Yeah, the history. Very, very important, especially the history. What is the basis for your artwork? What is the context? Who are you contextualizing? What ideas are you bringing on board? How are those ideas represented in history? And how are you representing those ideas now? What are the overlaps? What are the parallels? All these things are questions that so when you stand and talk about your work,
I don't understand the language you're speaking right now because I am not.
So you see, so definitely you know that no, this guy is a pro. That's
exactly.
It. You have to, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's get to your music. Are you still into the music? I know you used to rap way back.
Yeah.
And you do it for fun. I mean, definitely.
Yeah. At some point I was on real heat when it comes to rap in Sunyani.
Yeah, I know.
And sorry. And 2013, it all started like this. 2013, I wanted to go to MTN Hitmaker. I know you know about it, probably. Yeah. And 2013, 2014 season. And that same year, I had gotten admission into Winneba Access, like University of Education, Winneba, to go and study. I went to this audition. I mean, when we were there, rappers, we've met ourselves. So even when the show proper, or like when the audition proper had not started, I mean, we gathered somewhere, hardcore rappers, and, we were clapping our hands. And I mean, freestyle, everybody was, showing their prowess. And I mean, right from there, people were like, Charlie, this guy, where does he come from? Oh, Charlie, this guy. I was like, yeah. So, um, before the Accra, I had I had passed through the audition in Sunyani and I had emerged as the winner then. So only the winner gets to go to Accra and represent. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I went there. All these stuff happened. I mean, it was my first time seeing Hammer of the Last Two. I mean, he
Right.
came there. I mean, and then Bessa Simons. I think it was the first time seeing Bessa
Yeah.
Simons too. And then one other woman, but I've forgotten the name. But she's also an industry player when it comes to
Right.
music. But I've forgotten the name. And I mean, they spoke to us, and I was like, "Yeah, Hammer, I know you like rappers, and I know what you like. You want to hear, and I'm here for you." I mean, those are the things that I was saying in my head.
Yeah.
So it got to my turn. At that time, I had made a song for Yvonne Nelson. I had some creative rap, about Yvonne
Yeah, I
Nelson. I
know,
was
I
like,
know,
"This
I
is
know, I know. He was a
for."
bad rapper, man.
I went there, and Kojo, you know what happened? The beat started. I mean, I'm a rapper, so my stance there will even let you know that this is a rapper, like the way that I stand. Because
Mm-hmm.
it also boils down to the language. We were talking about language of art, just some
Yep.
few
Yep.
minutes ago. Anything that you want to do, I mean, there are rules, there are languages to them. Learn those languages. So when
Perfect.
when you start speaking it, people know that you know what you're talking about. So even as a rapper, the way that you stand, the way that
Exactly.
you live in, like tilt
Y-
your head like
We,
this,
we shouldn't,
it's
yeah,
like
man. By your look
all
alone,
those
we should
things.
know you're a rapper.
Yeah, yeah. So the way, I mean, I had my chain on me, all those like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is a rapper. I mean, the beat started, and we used to do radio freestyle. So I mean, it was a normal thing
Yeah.
for me over there. I felt
Yeah.
like I'm just freestyling on radio.
Yeah. It's a
Freestyle was
normal
my thing,
thing. Yeah.
so it was a normal thing. And I remember I did the first verse, I sang the hook, and then when I started doing the second verse, Hammer was like, "No, stop, bro. No, damn." I was like, "Yeah, I'm in this reality show." I mean, from Sunyani, so
Yeah.
I'll start appearing on TV, and my people are going to start looking
Yeah.
at me. I was like, you know,
Yeah,
so
man.
he was like, "No, bro." I had good feedback then. I was like, I mean, when you know how to do something,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I mean, as a drawback, I mean, from the
Yeah.
first
I
verse,
mean, you
second
can
verse, I
just
was like,
close your eyes
yeah,
and do it
yeah.
easily.
So my turn was like, I finished my session. I came back that day. They couldn't finish the entire audition, and um, they came and told us like, okay, those of you who have been able, like the people that we've
Mm-hmm.
auditioned today, I mean, you
Yep.
can lodge somewhere in Accra. We will finish the next day, and then we will get back to you guys. So
Right.
that night, I didn't come back to Sunyani. I went to Kindi. That time, Kindi too had gone to like Accra, like
Yeah.
like I mean, it
North
wasn't
K.
long.
Yeah.
It wasn't long then. Yes, North K. So I went to Kindi's studio and I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to sleep." I slept in that booth that night. I slept in Kindi's booth.
Mm-hmm.
That I was like, "Yeah." So the next morning, oh, I was waiting to hear from these people. I was waiting to hear from them. I was waiting to, and you
Yeah.
know what? When we were in line, people were talking about their managers. Some people were waiting for their
Yeah. People
managers.
came
All
with
those kind of things.
their plugs.
And I mean, their plugs. Yes, I like that word.
Mm-hmm.
People. I mean, I didn't have any physical plug then. So I mean, I didn't hear from them again. I came to Sunyani to prepare for school. I didn't hear about them. Like it could have been a rejection or maybe acceptance. Even if
Yeah.
what the guy said was true, at least I should have gotten a feedback from them. I didn't hear
Yeah.
from them. And I was
Nothing.
like, dang. I mean, it was very disappointing because everything went on well.
Yep.
Someone gave me the assurance. I mean, then I
But
realized,
that's
no,
life.
yeah,
Probably
the
if they had
plugging.
called you, things might have happened.
Yes, at that
That's
time,
life.
I might not like going to school, going to university first year, and you are on a reality show.
Oh,
I
you
don't
be a
think I would have
star
taken my
already.
lessons seriously. You'll be a star boy on campus. Oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Things would have gone bad. So when that thing happened, I was like, let me put music aside,
Mm-hmm.
focus on my school because I have gotten this advice that I have to take my lessons seriously. Now, I have studied music, like it is my talent. I can rap even if I close my eyes. I can put lyrics down right right now. But I haven't taken time to develop my art practice. So
Yeah.
let me use this opportunity to put a halt on the music. You know, it wasn't an automatic, like it wasn't something that I said, but it happened like automatically, like naturally. I
Yeah.
sidelined it and I took my lessons seriously. And, you know, as time went on, I had to, you know, come back to Christ because, I mean, man, we
Yeah.
were doing different stuff, like we were doing things, you know,
You were
I
going
mean, a lot
wayward.
of things wayward. I mean, sometimes we could do drugs. I mean, we could watch porn. I mean, a
Yeah.
whole lot of things. So it's like, no, let me give myself to Christ because when I see myself like this, I'm a very talented guy, but
Yeah.
I'm not coming from a good home. I'm not coming from a rich background. So
Mm-hmm.
if I don't stay closer to God, who will let my situation touch people, that
Yep.
like let's help this guy. Because back then we had so many promises. Kojo, we had so many promises in Sunyani. Someone will
Yeah.
call you, oh, I want to manage you, and things won't
People
happen.
will promise and fail you. Yeah.
People promise, and I can mention tons of names in Sunyani, and you know them. You know some of. I mean, maybe some of them
Yeah. I mean,
even
yeah. I
approach
mean,
you along the line. I mean, and
yeah, but that is life, you know?
yeah, things were not just happening. Then I was like, no, bro,
Yeah.
give yourself to God. And honestly, when I did that, things started happening for me. So when I was about to complete school, I had the call that this is the time for you to get back to music again. But this
Mm-hmm.
time, you are not doing it for the world. I intentionally kept you in this position to take your mind off like rapping for the world and doing all those kind of things. So it is
That's
a
amazing.
talent that I gave you. It is a
Yeah.
talent that I gave you. It is not going to go to waste. But now do gospel rap. Put it
Nice
out there.
one.
Put my message out there through the rap. And I started working on it. Right now, I have a gospel album that is about to
Oh, that's
come out.
great.
But right now, what I have also noticed is that music is also about plugs now. You have to get the money, the videos, and all these other stuff. So it's like right now, I'm trying to balance everything. I'm using one talent to lift the other one. I've seen that art can bring me quick money now. So I can
Yep.
use that as a means to, like, I
Yep.
can leverage upon my other talents
Leverage on the arts to
lift the
push
other
the
one,
music as well.
to push the music. So that is what I'm basically doing. As
Nice one. I like the way you've taken it cool and you're relaxing now. I mean, when it's time,
yeah,
it's time. You don't need to push so hard. And
yeah, you
honestly,
don't
I'm
need to
proud
force
of
it.
you because I know you from way back, and I know how confident you are. I know how humble you are, and I can tell you that humility has taken you very far. And with God,
So I
you're
agree.
going to go higher than where you are even right now. So, man,
I agree.
I'm really proud of you, and I want you to give a great advice for anybody watching you from Sunyani, watching you from number two, watching you from Chinyamafo, watching you from Odumasi, anywhere in the BA. Just tell them something. Give them some motivation, man.
Yeah, I think you've even said it all.
Yeah, man.
Like in terms of motivation and inspiring people and all that. First and foremost, be a God fearing person. Fear God. I mean, the Bible says that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. When you put the fear of God in you, other things
Right.
will start falling into place because you cannot be humble if you don't have the fear of God in you. Be very humble, and then you have to keep working and learning. Learn the language.
And the thing is, so many people are doing things they don't even understand. They don't have an idea of what they are into. And so
Yeah,
it makes your craft complex. It brings so many
yeah,
complications when you don't even know or understand what you are into. You get my point. So
yeah,
it boils
yeah.
down to learning the language, putting God first, being
Yeah.
humble,
Being humble.
and then
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the hard work, man.
And
It's
then
it's
do the work. And then when you
yes.
do the work, don't hide it. Put it out there.
That's the
Put it
thing,
out there.
I
Put it
mean,
out there. I mean,
as
my
you
studio,
speak.
you can have a studio view if you want.
Oh, you understood. Oh, come on. Just give us some view, some tour of your studio. Let's see what you're about.
Yeah. I don't know how the phone camera works with this.
No, I mean,
But you can literally
what's
see
that
here.
drawing? Yeah.
I have. So these are preliminary works. I'm going to develop these into final works, but they are almost done. So some of the stuff that I was talking about. So now you have
Yep.
someone selling bread on the street. So I'm dealing with street people. I'm telling the stories of street people, and this is the story of the woman. You know.
Yep.
So and I have materials like gold leaf. So this means celebration. This means you know this woman right here is very important to me. So I'm telling the story of this woman to the
That's
rest
a
of the world.
beautiful one there.
Yeah. So now I'm combining text. So now I
Oh,
write and then I pair it with the drawing.
I think that's a good thing. So people understand the story.
Yeah. And who this woman is.
Oh,
So I'm
amazing.
basically dealing with two people in Ghana. So this is a guy selling coconut, Kuberia,
Mm-hmm.
you see that kind of. So I'm
That's
celebrating
beautiful.
these, yeah, using gold leaves and stuff like that. So this gold leaves and stuff like that. And this is the story of that guy. And then I have gold leaves here, as a way of
Amazing.
upliftment. And then so
Oh
there's
man,
this guy.
right. That's beautiful. I
So
like that one, man. The hustler, man.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, where I come from, so it's like I'm telling the stories of my people. I'm telling the stories of my people, and this is his voice. I mean, his name is Nana
Amazing.
Kwame. I mean, he hopes
Yep.
that things improve by the next year. So there
The
is
next
also
two
one
years.
down here. Yeah, I mean that is the story. There's also one down here. Um,
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, a back seller here. So it's like now this is what I'm doing. So I'm
I like
basically
where it's going down.
yeah, that's it. So I also
That's
have
great.
like myself. I have myself portrait here. So this is the owner of the studio. This
Oh,
is the worker.
that's it. That's it. That's the man himself. Amazing.
Yeah. So these are some of my earlier works. The
Mm-hmm.
portrait of Beyonce. So I have it framed in my studio right here. And then
Amazing.
um and then this is the journey club drawing that I was talking about. So I have it
Oh,
framed
yes,
behind
yes, 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 yes.
so
The
this is
one
the
that
drawing
got
that
you all the international, I mean,
yeah.
features.
I mean, yeah, it is a good work and I love it. And these are some
Amazing.
of my works in my studio. These are some of these works I brought them from Ghana. I
Right.
created them when I was flying to Yankee. Then I was like, hey guys, Charlie, you can call Yankee Jamo. Let's go. I created new people here in Ghana. Go and live the rest of your life in
Yep.
abroad. So that kind of thing.
That's beautiful.
So this,
I mean, you've got a great body of art.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, this is exclusive to Kojo's podcast. I mean, people haven't seen these works. I haven't put
Oh,
them
exclusive
online.
for our people. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
Amazing.
exclusive. So this is another one here. This work is done. It's like I've covered it.
Okay.
So I can
Amazing.
cover it like this and you see it. So I'm using a whole lot of materials, color, fabric, stuff like that. So these are
That's
some of the
beautiful.
fabrics that I use. So these are some of the fabrics that I use, the Ankara fabric.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Also,
So
those
I've been
fabrics
collaging.
are not drawing. They are already on there.
Yeah, they are already on there. So I collage them, and
Oh,
these are some my storage area. This is my space. So these works are exclusive. So I mean,
exclusive to
so
Not Just a Crowd, man. Thank you so much, my
yeah,
man.
these works are
Awesome.
exclusive. I mean, because you're my
Yeah,
senior
man.
brother, and I really
Remember, you watched it first right here.
yeah. Yeah. So exclusivity.
Oh,
So that
man,
is
we're proud of
so.
you.
So this is my studio. This is where I've been working, and I have all these work here. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. That's beautiful,
my work.
man. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. God bless you
So
so much, man.
God put it on my heart that I have to use my artwork to help the needy, the people on the street. So with these works, if they get to the museum, the people who are involved are going to get part of the money. So I'm using art to help the needs, the people on the street. So I'm telling your story, and that story will fetch you money, and then that money, part of that money will come back to you to change your life.
That's amazing.
So now I'm using both the art and music as a ministry to tell stories. So that is why I mean things I'm disclosing certain things exclusively to your show. Some of these
Amazing.
things, I mean, people
Yep,
don't know
it's in the
about yet.
pipeline and
Basically, that's
it will
what I'm doing.
manifest very soon.
Yeah, it has already started like manifesting. So everything that I'm doing now is ministry. My art is ministry. My music is ministry.
Nice
So
one,
that
man.
is what I'm doing. Yeah.
Amazing. How time flies when we're having fun. So much
So
to talk
another
about, and definitely I'm gonna get back to you for some more amazing chats. I can tell you, every boy from Sunyani, from BA, from wherever they know you are proud, super proud of you. We will say keep doing what you're doing, and don't forget where you're from. Anytime, any day. If you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe to my channel and let's get it going. If you have any amazing story you want us to show, please link up in my DM and let's get it talking. And this is not just a crowd. My name is Kojo. You can call me Reality. I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Masturbation, Christ the nation. Fabo homa no contemplating. I want the moon, no condemnation.